Okay guys, so if you guys watched our last video, we started on the ground floor of Terminal 2 of Mexico City, on the furthest point from the bus and ground transportation. So now I'm on the second floor, or first floor, however you want to look at it. I am directly above from where I started the first video because I did a loop around. So I took the elevators up, and now I'm here, and now I'm going to do a walk around here. Now, this area has a few less shops related to money exchange and car rentals because this is the departure floor. So what it mostly has is going to be restaurants and little stores, and I'm going to show you where you enter security and where you take the train to the other terminal in case you have to take the other terminal. So let's start our walk, and as soon as we come out to the right is going to be a restaurant that I really enjoy, and it's called Wings. So if you watch my last video, I talked about Wings earlier, and I really like Wings because of their menu. It's really cheap, fast, and really good. So there's one on the top floor as well, in case you don't want to hang out at the bottom floor. They have the same menu, same price, everything. So right next to Wings is the main entrance through security. So here's where you're going to go, and this is for mostly international departures, but they also have some national departures. So they do have a few flights within the country, but most of them are going out of the country. And here we're going to start heading towards ground transportation and the train. So the train is basically a train that's at the airport. It is free to use. However, you have to present a boarding pass. I've gotten on it once without a boarding pass, and basically what I told him what the Delta girl told me to tell him, is that the boarding pass would be printed when I got there, and I guess they know that because they let me through, so it was weird. So there's another Volvo being displayed, and you're probably wondering what all this plastic is for. So this stuff, they actually have a little stand here where you can bring your luggage, and they will plastic wrap it for you so it doesn't get scratched by the luggage guys and the conveyors. So I've always thought that's really cool. So right here, about halfway through the terminal, is Delta and Aeromexico, which are allies now because Delta purchased half of Aeromexico. So there's Delta and there's Aeromexico. And let me tell you something, I got a story for you on another video of an issue I had with them, and neither of them would help me. They kept pointing the finger and saying, well, it's an Aeromexico flight. Well, you booked it through Delta. I'll do that in another video. I don't want to ruin this one. All right, so we keep going. Security as usual everywhere. Easy to spot with the orange hats if you have a problem. Very clean airport. I'm very surprised how they maintain the airport because it hasn't had a major overhaul since the probably 80s, and it's still in pretty good shape. So this is the guy that wraps your luggage. So you pay him. It's usually about 12 bucks for a small piece and 15 for a larger piece, and he'll wrap it all in plastic for you, and that's basically it. That way it protects your luggage. So this is the Aeromexico. They have another set, this is like for local flights. So the other side with the Delta was usually international. So here you can come and show your passport and passport, and usually print your ticket ahead of time or pay for an upgrade or for luggage. Very few people use that. I'm not sure why. I've never tried to use one because my stuff's already printed when I get here, but I've rarely seen someone even try to touch one of those. So basically this whole section is Aeromexico, and here's where you will document your luggage, check your luggage, and they x-ray it and they put it in and they give you a sticker. So this terminal is pretty much owned by Aeromexico. That's why it's usually Aeromexico and Delta flights that come in here. Sometimes they do let other airlines land, but from my understanding, Terminal 2 is basically the Aeromexico terminal. And Terminal 1 will have all of the smaller airlines like Interjet, Volaris, and Viva Aerobus, which usually just do local flights. They have a few international flights because they're expanding, but most of their bulk of their flights are within the nation. So we're gonna keep going, and there's a couple of other airlines that have moved in, but they have very few flights. Here's another girl with the plastic wrap. I like how they have their display there. Okay, so Aeromar is basically, I don't want to say it's owned by Aeromexico, but it kind of is, because they usually do Aeromexico flights. They provide the aircraft and the crew for Aeromexico. So even if I buy a ticket through Delta or Aeromexico, a lot of the times, once I'm within Mexico, it's an Aeromar flight. Then you got Copa Airlines and Wingo. And of course, another Aeromexico area. So like I said, Aeromexico pretty much owns this terminal. All right, so we're gonna keep going, and guess what? Up ahead at the end of this end, there's another wings restaurant. Yes, there is. They are awesome. Please try to eat at one of them. You won't be disappointed. You'll probably spend with your drink around $7.50 to $8 for a really good Mexican meal. It's really good quality. Just try it. All right, so there's the wings. It's actually on top of the restrooms on this side and the elevators. You got to go up the steps over there to the left. They got some screens here with flight displays. They're usually wrong. I can do a separate video on that, but nah, I don't have to. I'll just tell you right now. Don't trust it. Keep checking it and keep asking, because a lot of the times they don't update the screens on time. All right, so this will take you, this is another security checkpoint. You can use this one as well. It doesn't really matter, they all go to the same area, just different ends of it. But if you go up to the left, that's where the train is. It's called the Aero Train or Air Train, and that would just take you to the other terminal. That's all it does. There's nothing fancy about it. If you have a connection between terminals, you probably best bet is to take that train, because a cab is going to charge you a lot and take a lot longer. All right, let's make our way back, and I'll just show you a few things. There is one money exchange here. There's probably a couple more down the line, but most of the stuff you're going to see here are shops. So they got a lot of sunglass shops. They got a couple jewelry shops, souvenirs. There's a watch company. I bought some watches from them, and they have one here and one inside. But I bought a couple of watches from them, one for me, one for my wife, and the batteries died so soon, and they wouldn't. They told me that I could bring it here for the warranty, and they never honored it. They made me go to the manufacturer, which was crappy. More money exchange, electronic shop, cases, cords, whatever you need. Mobile shop sells a lot of stuff. I don't like it, but I mean, it'll get you out of a pinch. Sunglass Hut, of course, because they're taking over everything. They're always everywhere. Divers. So you probably know Divers, because they're all over the world too. And custom boutique jewelries. Chilim Balam is actually a Mexican candy store. There's one here and one inside the secure area. I suggest buying some stuff inside the secure area to avoid any problems. If you want to take some Mexican candy to someone in the States, just make sure you declare it with customs in the States. It'd probably be okay, but you never know. So a couple clothing stores. There's a couple ATMs here. Banamex, which we spoke of before. That's the one that usually the credit unions will work on. I spoke of that in my other video. More electronic stores. There's Krispy Kremes. More candy shops and decorations and souvenirs. Another money exchange. Now, halfway through the terminal, right in front of the main Aeromexico area, is ground transportation. So here you can basically, technically you could get picked up here, but usually you get picked up downstairs. But this is where you'll usually be dropped off. If your hotel is shuttling you or a cab, this is where you're going to end up. So you'll usually end up already in the departure floor, facing all of the Aeromexico ticketing counters. So that's a good thing. All right, let's keep going. It's starting to get crowded. I guess it's that time of the day when there's more flights. She got her luggage wrapped. Here's Aeromexico customer service. Makes you wonder how many people it takes to use one computer.
Airline representative for the airport police.
All right, there's a 7-Eleven here. Remember what I said on my last video about 7-Eleven? If you can, do your purchases here. They do not rack up the prices. They keep the same prices as out in town. Most of the other convenience stores will rack up the prices. More money exchange. There's like a little pastry / panini shop there. Okay. So, we are now facing the Delta / Aeromexico check-in. So this is a bonus feature that I'm going to give you guys that a lot of people don't realize until you go out exploring. So if you leave this whole section and you walk out here, so we're leaving, Delta is right behind us. So we're going to leave these double doors. Nothing's going to happen. We're still in the airport terminal, so we're good. But all you got to do is walk a little and you will come across a food court. And I've noticed most of the people that eat here are Mexican because they know about it, and a lot of foreigners don't come here. I don't think they know that they can leave that one section, and there's no signs or anything. So here is a Mexican food court. They have Starbucks, sushi, Sbarro. They've got a bakery. They've got a lot of different Mexican chains and a lot of international chains. But this is actually a really good place to eat for cheap, and you have a little more open space, and they have phone chargers, so you can actually feel like you're away from the airport, if that makes any sense, and you're back at like a mall or something, and you're more relaxed and you're eating and enjoying and charging your phone without all the other people running around trying to get ticketing and stuff and all of the announcements. So there's a Subway there, Chinese, and some Mexican restaurants, and there's another Carl's Jr. back here, just like the one downstairs, but this is a smaller one. There's another 7-Eleven here. Oh, check this out. This is new. There is a medical clinic for travelers here. So it says it's open. That's a new thing. I hadn't seen that. So I guess if you're feeling bad or you need to get a quick checkup, or you got dizzy at your last flight, you can come here. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the top floor. If we exit back that way, we're back where we started. If we go this way, this is where we came into this little hidden food court area. So back there would be exiting to where we started the whole video. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you guys get a kind of an idea of what to expect at Mexico City Airport. Most likely if you ever go to Mexico, you're going to eventually go through here. Bye.